This week on Always On, torture testing the Nexus 7 tablet, a do-it-yourself iPhone macro lens, you guys are the best, connected cars of the future, and a rugged new laptop for your back-to-school needs.
Oh my God!
Always On is on. Welcome to Always On. I'm Molly Wood. This is the show where we take a look at the tech that's part of your life and your future. It's our season 2 premiere episode. We are back, and there is no shortage of awesome to show you. In fact, because it's so awesome, I can't even wait to share. Here's another sneak peek at what to expect.
He took the midnight train going anywhere.
Never out of date. Never.
Do I look awesome?
Oh no! Oh, delicious. Oh.
Stay frosty, my friend.
Hello, little buddy. Hey guys, wave. Aww. This is not your grandfather's America's Cup, and I got the ride of my lifetime on one of these guys. My fault. Sorry for missing.
See ya, come here.
Give me a massage. Today on Future Tech, the future of cars. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'll grab my, what did you call this, a multi-tool?
Activate. Ooh, it is super hot.
That felt kind of good, I'm not gonna lie.
You'd watch that, right? I mean, I would. Now that it's season 2, we are amping up the torture, and our first victim is the Google Nexus 7. For this one, I got a little help from an old friend. All right, it is our first torture test of season 2. We got co-host Jeff Cannata in the house, and we are gonna put the Nexus 7 to the test.
Yeah, I've been brought in because I've been told that you've been too nice to these devices. I'm here to destroy some stuff.
I think we have to ramp it up. In fact, we discovered, I think, that our terrarium of death is more like a terrarium of a nice day at the beach. So that's gonna get amped up a little bit in season 2, and we're gonna start with the drop test.
Before we go, can I just take a look at it for a second? I just want to, I haven't even seen the Nexus really.
Yeah.
Whoops! Oh, no!
You did not!
Whoops! Oh!
That was awesome! All right, let's survey the damage.
Let's see the back.
Come apart on impact. The only thing, oh my gosh, look at that. The back is off, like it's like a stripped robot, but the screen is on.
That could happen. That could happen,
That
in,
could
a,
happen.
in a real life situation.
A handoff, like it was
a very clumsy friend.
A botched relay. That's what
Yeah.
that was. You know, this is in fact my personal Nexus 7 that
So
I
you
decided
have,
I'm
you have
over.
a little bit of emotional relationship. with it.
Do. All right, it's all put together. Seems like a good time to drop it again.
Yeah.
I batted it
That
down
was
volleyball
awesome.
style.
Yeah. You set yourself and then you spike. All right, let's see. Again, case. Oh, we have crackage.
We have bad crackage.
That's pretty for real. It's still on. Oh, no, wait. Ooh,
Oh.
Now it's off.
Oh, now it's off, yeah. Ooh, look at this. It's not just crack. This looks dangerous. Look, there's like a big chunk taken out of the middle.
It's not so bad.
I think it's still, well, you know what?
I have the little piece. Maybe we can fix it.
You know, that piece hit our camera guy. I'm just saying, we experienced flying shrapnel. Let's see if we can.
Can we
puzzle
repair
it back
it?
together?
Do we have the technology?
Oh, come on, little guy.
We can rebuild him.
This is clearly not Gorilla Glass 2, because you remember at the end of last season, we threw the iPhone 4S down the stairs twice, dropped it 3 times. I mean, I didn't bat it out of the air, but you know,
Right.
This is like pretty legit. Nothing. And this just shattered.
Well, I think bad luck for it is it landed right on the corner,
Yep.
which is not a great impact point,
Still, though.
but very possible for when you drop it.
one test in, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a fail.
I think it's a fail.
Ouch. I think the Nexus 7 might be the most fragile device that we've torture tested so far. I mean, cracking on the second drop, that's pretty weak. And this guy didn't just crack, it shattered. We did a little research on Google's product page and found out that this glass is Corning's scratch-resistant glass, not the same thing as Corning's Gorilla Glass. That explains the shattering and the $199 price tag. You get what you pay for. Although we are not done with the Nexus 7 just yet. Coming up later in the show, you'll see the cold test, the heat test, and a pretty special water test. Before that, let's talk about cars. They are getting smarter and smarter, and the tech inside them is starting to dominate the entire driving experience. I took a road trip to Detroit to both General Motors and Ford. Both of them showed me how tech in cars is starting to become a huge part of your everyday life. Whether it's 4G and Wi-Fi inside the car, to the infotainment systems, and even storing your driving habits in the cloud. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for a little bike ride and try not to get hit by a car. I know what you're thinking. What does riding a bike have to do with a connected car? We'll see that car behind me getting closer and closer. The driver is able to detect my mobile phone using Wi-Fi built into the vehicle.
Cyclist ahead.
And that warning may have just prevented me from getting smushed. It's just one of many car technologies being developed here in the Motor City. GM has also decked out its Chevy Volt with 4G LTE connectivity. Think of it as a high-speed wireless broadband hotspot on wheels, where devices are integrated and they share all kinds of information.
The 4G LTE bandwidth allows us to do a whole lot more than we've ever been able to do before.
So each of these screens represents one of the screens in the car?
That's exactly right. So this screen in the middle is this particular screen here. The two on the sides represent the two tablets that we've brought into the vehicle. So I can take Angry Birds and move Angry Birds right over to this application. Now it's playing in the back. And I can take YouTube over here and give the complete YouTube control to the rear seat.
Then go crazy, whether that's playing video games. Imagine if you were a kid sitting back here, how happy you would be right now. Or watching cat videos on YouTube. Ooh. Now I'm gonna test out one of the most promising elements of high-speed 4G internet in a car, a video call from the back seat. I have Skype loaded up and I'm gonna call our interns back in San Francisco. Hey guys, wave. Aw, they put the little logo on the back. You guys are the best. Wish you were here. We're driving fast cars. It's really fun. We can't hear them because of our studio mics, but this is pretty good video quality. All right, good job. Get back to work. Now, the strongest trend in in-car entertainment is making the in-car systems feel more like smartphones or interfaces that you're already used to. Big touch screens, increasingly capacitive displays, and of course, the ability to bring your own media in a much more seamless way. Be it music, personal photos, even home movies. At Ford, engineers are working on ways to analyze your driving patterns and then help you drive in a more energy-efficient way. We took out one of their plug-in hybrid research vehicles for a test drive.
We defined the parking lots around our campus as green zones, and as you drive, you're going to see the car turn its engine on and off.
The green zones are areas that are recommended for driving in all-electric mode versus gas mode, say when you're near home or a school.
As you enter the parking lot area here, listen, you're going to see that the car turns off.
It's such a defined boundary, like, nope, not yet, not yet. And electric. And you can see from on the map, too, that we're in a green zone. The car can also store your driving habits in the cloud and, through predictive software, show you a better route the next time you drive. It seems inevitable that our cars will soon be Wi-Fi or 4G enabled, so you can do things like manage your home's energy from your car or get an alert if there's another vehicle nearby. My fault. It's all amazing, the blending of internet connectivity with our cars. I, for one, cannot wait. What I learned on this Detroit visit is that it's no longer the motors or the hardware that define a car's performance or even fuel economy. It's the precision algorithms that control the way the car behaves. As cars evolve, the difference between a Ford and a Chevy could become more like the difference between an iPhone and an Android phone. It's all about the software. And now it's time to check in with our DIY maven, Miss Sharon Vaknin, who has a phone photography tip this week that I absolutely love.
If you've tried to get extreme close-ups using your phone, you've probably noticed that the objects start to blur when you get too close and you have to back up. The solution to this is to use a macro lens. You can buy them online for 20 to 40 bucks, but of course, I found a way to do it myself for less than $10. So here's what we need to do. We need to find a way to magnify what the lens sees, and the most obvious solution here is to use a magnifying glass. So I picked up this jeweler's loupe for about 8 bucks at Radio Shack, and the quick and dirty solution is to just hold the jeweler's loupe up against my lens and go close in and take the shot. So that's the quick and dirty way to do it, but I wanted a more permanent solution, so I made my own attachable macro lens. Here's what I used. I grabbed a disposable camera, crazy glue, an old USB flash drive, and a microfiber cloth. All right, I need to break open this disposable camera, so I'll grab my Leatherman and pop this guy right open. This will vary depending on the type of disposable camera you get. For reference, this is a Kodak. All right, so I have it open, and this is the baby. This is what I need. I need to grab this lens from inside the camera. So I'm just gonna pull it right off. The lens will come loose. Be careful. You don't want to scratch it. Tweezers would come in handy here. All right, I am done with this disposable camera. Okay, I'll grab my USB flash drive and remove this part from it. Now the way I'm going to assemble it is I'm going to place the lens here, and then it'll slide right over my iPhone. So I'll apply some crazy glue. Be careful because you don't want your fingers sticking together, and just a couple dabs around the outside of this, okay? And now I'll gently place the lens on top. All right, give it a nice push, and this should be dry within a couple minutes. Now what I did is I took this frame out and actually glued it to this side of the USB drive because I don't want this gadget scratching my iPhone. So once it's dry, it's ready to go. All I have to do is slide it right on top of my iPhone. It sits nicely. It doesn't fall off, and I will launch my camera, and now I can get super close to this object right here, snap it, and you can actually see the whole texture of the quarter too. Let me show you another example. I'll grab this book, and I am going to zoom in on some text. Look at just how close I can get to that text. Now, if I didn't have the macro lens on, all that text would be blurry. I would have to back up a lot to see it clearly. And always have a microfiber cloth around with you in case your lens ever gets dirty or smudged. Okay, there's my DIY macro lens, and thank you to Instructables for inspiring me on this project. Go out and make yours and send me your sample photos to alwayson@cnet.com.
I mean, how cool is that tip? Plus, it doesn't involve any knives or scissors or anything dangerous like that. Although, don't get too comfortable because in a few weeks, Sharon Vaknin will channel her inner Tim Allen and bust out a drill and a jigsaw. Told you we were amping up this show. And speaking of which, now back to the Nexus 7 torture test. Now, we did smash it on our very first go-around of the torture test, and we were gonna call it there, but I decided that that's not fair to the gadget and to you, the viewer. So we bought another one, and we're gonna put it through the regular battery of tests, starting with cold. There you go. All right, good luck, little buddy. 2 hours. Let's see how it's doing in the freezer. Ooh, nicely crusted over. Yeah, pretty icy. Let's see if it comes on. Turn it right side up. Oh yeah. All right, seems fine. Nice and snappy, no problem. Now for the heat test. We'll do an hour in the oven like I promised, taking it up a notch at 200 degrees. Delicious. Ooh, that's warm. Time to rescue our Nexus 7 from the oven. It is a little over 200 degrees in there, but I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. No problem. Ooh, it does not smell good, I'll tell you that. We have learned from experience that it is best to let this cool for a little while, so we're just gonna go ahead and bring it back to room temperature and then try to turn it on. In fact, it is super hot. One thing I do notice even before we let it cool is that our plastic back has warped a little bit. It's a little bit bubbled. We'll see if that goes back to normal. And also we left a little plastic sticker on the bottom, which is not the smartest thing I've ever done. Our Nexus 7 is back to room temperature. Let's see if everything is intact. Coming on fine. Coming on slowly, but maybe that's just a processor thing. Oh, there we go. Okay. It does seem a little less responsive than I remember it being, but I think we can call this one survived. It is time for our water test. Now, I did notice that after the heat test, the plastic on the back seems a little bit warped and it's not connecting the way that it used to. I see some gaps, which I think are gonna be bad in the water test, so I'm just warning you now. But we have to do our water test and I'm not buying another one of these things. So I thought I would draw myself a nice bubble bath because I like to read in the tub, and if this is gonna replace my e-reader, it's gonna have to come with me. Oh, let's see. Oh, my robe, I don't want it to come open, but I have to check the water and see if it's warm enough. And then, oh no! Oh. The screen went off immediately. Oh no, bubbles too. That's terrible. The bubbles on the screen. Oh, a towel. Okay, let's dry this guy off here. Oh yeah, it is not having water at all. Man, that happened pretty much instantly. I think this thing shorted the second that it hit the water. Although to be fair, water is actually dripping out of it, so maybe I should just dry it off for a while first. Man, I really loved my Calgon Take Me Away bath time. It's just too bad I didn't have anything to read. As promised, we have had the Nexus 7 drying out in a mixture of silica gel packets and rice for several days. We're gonna see if it comes on. Frankly, this thing's so fragile, I don't think it's gonna make it, but we did charge it for a while first. Let's see if it'll come back to life. Power. I'm not even sure the power button is still connected to the power circuit. Back is so screwed up. That one's a no-go. Now, speaking of our lightly used gadgets, I do want to announce the always-on torture test sweepstakes. That's right, we are going to give away some of the gadgets that we torture starting this week. On Friday, September 14th, you'll be able to enter our first giveaway and potentially win the iPad 3 that we tortured back in episode 1. You'll find all the details and the rules for that on Friday at cnet.com/alwayson. And now it is time for a little thing that we like to call unboxing. School is in session, which means new laptops for students. In fact, I just got some survey data emailed to me reporting that more students will drop laptops this year than classes. Ha. Seriously though, they get dropped a lot. So let's check out this baby, the ruggedized Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Ultrabook. The carbon stands for carbon fiber, so maybe this one could survive the first semester. Let's check it out. This is a true unboxing, by the way. All the tape, original and intact. I got a little grief for not cutting away from myself last time, so I'm trying to be more careful. You know what we should really get? We should just get like a box cutter. I think that's actually what they're made for. Opening boxes. Although this one's so awesome. Okay. Huh. This seems kind of uncharacteristic. These cables are a mess. But we do have an Ethernet dongle because this is an Ultrabook, so no built-in Ethernet, but the Ethernet via USB is included. You know I'm a fan of that. Power, some more power. Okay. Some green recycly looking dealies for holding it in place. It is light, I can already tell. In fact, this is a 3-pound Ultrabook and it's 14 inches, so 3 pounds is pretty impressive. You can see that carbon matte black. It looks cool, but I have to say I've never been a fan of this because it is a fingerprint magnet. Although, man, it's like a ninja laptop. Let's open it up and go through some specs. It starts at $13.99 with 128 gigabyte solid state drive. There's 4 gigs of RAM on board and a 3rd gen Intel Core i5 processor running at 1.8 gigahertz. That ought to be plenty of power. It does run Windows 7 and it has a very nice 1600 by 900 HD display. Most 14-inch displays have a 1366 by 768 screen. There are curved bottom keys. In fact, CNET's review says this is the best ultra-thin laptop keyboard in the business. It has a new glass-covered trackpad, which makes navigating much smoother. There's an SD card reader, a mini display port, and that Ethernet via USB dongle. And this is kind of a neat trick. You can bend the lid all the way back. I don't know why you want to do that, but it's kind of cool. There's even a fingerprint scanner, which lets you power on with just a swipe. I personally am a big fan of that feature. The ThinkPad X1 is a little bit expensive, but it's a sleek, solid alternative to a MacBook Air if you're looking for one of those. And later this season, we'll torture test it and find out if the carbon fiber construction really is all that. In the meantime, you can find Dan Ackerman's full review over at cnet.co/ThinkPadX1. It's time for us to take a little break. When we come back, I'll answer some of your mail. Let's read some emails together. I asked for it and you responded. Here's our first ever video mail.
Hey Molly, it's Austin from Minnesota, though I'm actually in North Dakota right now at NDSU studying industrial engineering, so it's pretty exciting. You said you wanted some video mail, so here we go. First, I want to say how excited I am about Season 2. I'm a huge fan of yours. I watched Buzz Out Loud a ton. And when you announced Always On, I couldn't wait. Secondly, I wanted to tell you how helpful the torture tests are. Being a college student, my tech can go through a lot, and maybe that could be something that could be added to the segment, like, does an iPad survive being stuck between a chemistry book and a pre-calculus book? Because I don't know. Well, that's it. Love the show. Can't wait for Season 2.
Austin, you are adorable. And North Dakota represent. That's where I went to high school. A textbook test would indeed be brutal. I think those things are like 140 pounds each. Next year's back to school torture test special is done. Next up here is another friendly face, Tyler.
Hey Molly, I just wanted to say thanks for the awesome review of the Nike Fuel Band. I just got mine yesterday, and yeah, I'm already kind of addicted to seeing how many steps I take and trying to reach my fitness goals. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work. I love the Always On. It's a great mix of the Buzz Report and CNET Mailbag. It's hilarious, and yeah, I love you. Bye.
Nice. Thanks, Tyler. I love hearing from the old school fans, and good luck with the Fuel Band. Half marathon, dude. You can do it. Next up, the torture test ideas just keep getting better and better. Here's another one from my home state, not North Dakota, the other one. Hi, Molly. My name is Trey. I am from Montana, too. Good episode today. Sharon's trucker smouth was funny.
Dedicated to do it yourself. What?
I have an idea about a torture test idea. You guys should do a torture test for Sony's 4K TV. Liquid test. First, turn on the fire alarm sprinkler system, then pour soda on the base. What do you think? Love the show, T, J, C period. P.S. Please reply if you can. Shock test. Push it off its stand, then play some bowling. Then T, J, C period followed up the email clarifying, by the way, when I said bowling, I meant Wii bowling. And then he sent this photo. It is that kind of dedication, creativity, and destructive thinking that I am looking for on this show. But Trey/J, C period, blah, blah, blah. I think you just mapped out our first ever TV torture test, and it is coming soon. Speaking of coming, keep the feedback coming. alwayson@cnet.com is our email address. Please keep those video mails coming. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. That's it for this week, everyone. Next week on the show, we talk iPhone 5, and a little more iPhone 5. Man, I cannot wait to torture test that phone. Also, we'll stop teasing you with our helicopter skydiving footage and actually show you the mid-air road test of the HTC One X versus iPhone. Plus, we torture test a Kindle, and I finally get my day at the pool. That's all coming up next week. Thanks for watching Always On.
I'll grab my, what do you call this, a multi-tool? No, what is this called?
A revolver.
Yeah. Leatherman's tool?
Yeah, just call it multi-tool.
My Leatherman.
Portable knife.
Leatherman, it's called, isn't it called a Leatherman?
No, Leatherman's a brand though.
It is a brand, but it's also sort of a generic term.
Yeah, it is. It's like Xerox.
Bro.
Could be like
Kleenex.
a machine, though.
Okay.